Islam, 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 people. What's up? You know who it is. Noble Raymond Wimpy L. coming with the 6th edition live documentation of N.B.C.A. That's N.B.C.A. Nationality, Birthright, Current Affairs. And, I'm going to get into this show quickly. I'm not going to, prolong, linger on too much because it's a special show. We'll talk about the young Moore down in St. Louis who was murdered by the policy enforcers, Mansur Ball Bay. We'll talk about Sandra Bland that was murdered down there in Texas. And I'm also talk about a brother from where I'm at, in Ohio Territory, Corporation Cincinnati, Sam DuBose, that was murdered by UC security guard. They call him a police officer, but he was a campus security guard. So, I'm not gonna take too long getting started in the show, but I always gotta, start this program off with giving honor and respects to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali for bringing this information back in the early 1900s to the lost tribe of Shabazz, the lost Hawk people, the last Hadaru people, or the lost Hadaru people here in the Americas, who were lost and lost their identity, lost their language, lost their culture. So that's how we came the lost tribes of Israel over here. And if it wasn't for the Prophet bringing this knowledge back to us, wouldn't nobody be talking about anything that pertains to Moorish nationality or Moor or anything today. So we got to always give honors and respects to the divine Prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and honors and respects to all prophets before him, known and unknown. Because it's always the duty of the Prophet to steer the people, the lost people, back into the right path. They are the chosen ones of the great divine Allah to manifest, to be the beacon and the light that we all need to get back on the right path of divine understanding, being our true natural nature selves. And whether we want to realize this or not, or understand it or not, even though people, or our people call themselves Black, Negro, Colored, African American, they are Moors. They just don't know they are Moors. Or some know and just want to deny it, because with this title, Moor, comes a lot of things. It comes with good and bad. There were not always good people amongst us, and some sided with others to do us harm. Our own family to do us harm. Some of us were good, but when people just hear the name, they just associate the name with so much of the downside of our heritage, and refuse to go into the knowledge of our good side of our heritage, because people don't understand it has to be a balance, up and down. It has to be the good, it has to be the bad. That is the order of things. That is the duality of things. That is the one. Good and bad is basically the same thing. It's just different degrees of one another. So we must always start this off with the Moorish American prayer. We give up our sevens. And that's 2 on the right, 5 on the left. These are unlocking the 7 seals, the 7 great lights, the 7 bands of light, the 7 bands of understanding, the 7 chakras, 7 pools of energy that align from the spine up to the crown of the head, which gives you divine and insight, foresight when you reach that level of enlightenment to pierce the crown chakra. Not many people get to do that. So, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and we face the east, supposed to stand up, but like I said, I always want people to see me do this so they'll understand what to do and how to do this. And then at the same time, I always remember to face east because the sun rises in the east, and with this prayer, we are rising our Kundalini energy. We are raising ourselves to a higher plateau of understanding in this moment. And I'm going to get into the higher self and lower self, but right now we're dealing with the higher self now. And Allah, and I like to say Allah, Father of the universe, truth, character, through His holy prophet Noble Drew. Amen. Sorry for the background, but didn't mean for that to happen. And also, what we must know and remember when it comes to the great prophet is that he understood the magnitude he was doing, and he understood that it was such of a great task that was placed among him that he understood that not many people were going to get it, though it was millions of people that actually got his message. And it wasn't just our own that got the message, but it was many others that got the message. I mean, like, people of different nationalities, people of different ethnicity background, diverse backgrounds, got the message as well, that it was a universal message of how to place yourself back into what is true life, natural life, status, having a status that reflects you as natural life. When you have a status that reflects you as not natural life, then you're not going to be treated as a natural being. And like I said, I'm not going to go too far into this and like that. I'm going to get into the letter to be claimed at every meeting, because this is a meeting. Every time that I broadcast something or any more broadcast something and then we're tuning in, that is a meeting of the minds, like minds. So we must always read the letter to be proclaimed at every meeting. And I am going to get into that, and then, like I said, I'm going to go into the program about, what's taking place with our people out here as far as us being murdered by these policy enforcers. So let me go ahead and go into this. And this is the Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue, Noble Drew Ali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th. 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother, Islam, I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth of the divine truth, the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement, now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen. They are working everything that they can to disqualify me, so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that pay their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work, in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to present the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali. So let me go in on a little bit of this so people understand the position of Noble Drew Ali. He wasn't just a prophet, he was a political leader. And he established a political institution, or let's say reestablished a political institution that had been taken out of the political and government folds of politics, true politics, which is international, and law, which governs politics. So we, as Moorish Americans, Al Moroccans, we were taken out of the constitutional foes of government by being placed or categorized as Negro, Black, and colored. And once that happened with us, and then we start to accept these things about ourselves, or accept these terms and terminologies about ourselves, that's when we start to systematically place ourselves in a lower caste system. It wasn't them. It's something like, it wasn't something that they presented, or it was something that they tried to force upon us as a people or people. Because let's keep it real. You only can be subjugated to something that you allow yourself to be subjugated to. Get what I'm saying? Like, nothing can subjugate you unless you allow it. Unless you feel that has more authority than you yourself. That's when that becomes your authority figure or your God. Let's put it in that aspect. Your God. You are serving that because you fear it. And when you fear it, you have become subordinate to it. And once you become subordinate to it, now that has become your God. So, with them just putting these so-called names or titles just on the record, on paper, it doesn't validate anything unless someone accepts that about themselves. So once you accept that about yourself, then it becomes you. You project that and it becomes your truth about yourself. So more, I'm projecting that truth about me. It doesn't have to stand for anyone else or express anyone else. I'm using that to express myself. I understand there are fellow Moors out here who use that term to express themselves, that title for themselves. So I am in conjunction with them people, those brothers and sisters who recognize themselves with that title more. But if people want to call themselves Negro, Black, and colored, that's their thing. They can do that. I'm not here to tell you what to call yourself. You judge you. You operate you. And that is your legal, lawful right to call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, and you stand up on those principles. As I stand up on the principles of being Bush American, stand up on the principles of being Black, Negro, and colored, whatever that is. From my understanding, that's property and law. That's equivalent to an animal, and I'm not an animal. I don't walk on all fours. I don't bark. I don't move. I don't meow. I don't whatever a horse sound make. I don't do none of that. Gorilla sound. I don't do none of that. I'm not none of that. I'm a walking, talking being, sentient being that has a spirit and a soul. And I'm a melanated being, which puts me in the first of all things. Don't matter the tone. My pheno features, my hair, my skin tone browns, red and browns, that denotes me as melanated. When a European sees me, he sees me as quote unquote black. I'm not black. The shirt is black. My skin and shirt is not the same. My beard and shirt matches. So these things are black. But my beard is hair. So this is the noun. And the color or description of my hair is the adjective, which is black. This shirt is the noun. Shirt is the noun. Let's do some grammar here. Shirt is the noun. Black is the adjective. So I have on a shirt that's black. My beard, my hair, my locks are black. My skin tone, as we see clearly, as I got on this and this. Come on, people, we are adults, but I shouldn't be having to make this type of illustration to adults. But I'm making this type of illustration to adults. We choose to add children. But the funny thing is, and I don't really want to say children, I'll say youth or, descendants or ascendants of ours. Because children and kids, that denotes animal. Kid is a goat. So we calling our youth goats, and then wonder why they acting like animals. But that's back to them even knowing that my skin tone and my shirt don't match. So we have to start understanding. Honorable Prime came with that science, that more science. He was giving us what we had already, what was ours. More science is not nothing new to us. This is something that we've been using to build civilizations all over the planet. Like I said, this is nothing new to us. We are not new to our own science. We're unfamiliar to our science, and that's what makes us handicapped. Because our science is ourselves. We are Moorish science. This you see right here, this makeup is the Moorish science temple, not the building. That's one thing I wanted to clarify in this, and I'm gonna get to the real topic of this live documentation, but I do want to clear some cobwebs out because people get confused. Say something about nationality, and then they go with these misnomers that they heard about this movement, when they should really walk this life to know it. You can't. It's hard for me to explain something that you don't endure or speak of on a daily basis, or think or live or breathe. You can't fathom. I can't fathom what it takes for someone to do brain surgery. I don't do brain surgery. I've never ever took a chance to understand or even practice what brain surgery is. So I could never tell a brain surgeon that he doesn't know what he's doing or his procedure is wrong, when, to be honest, I'm a literate to fact. And until I study that fact and make it a known fact, man, making it a part of me and applying that knowledge to manifest it as fact before my very own eyes, I'm illiterate to that. So I can humble myself to someone of that knowledge and say, hey, I don't know, can you teach me, and then learn. But a lot of us don't want to learn what nationality is. And when we do get someone who can teach us nationality, we don't even take the time to go study what that person said. We'll just go off what that person said and then go off what someone else says. And then when you got two people clashing on nationality, some people think that we don't need it. I personally know we do need it. And like I said, I'm going to get to the topics at hand, but I personally know we do need it, and we need it collectively for us to even have any type of case against anyone for the atrocities that happened to us during the invasion of our tranquil times, peaceful times amongst ourselves. And like I said, even that gets deep, man. People don't know that a lot of stuff was agreed upon. A lot of things, after so much conflict and stuff like that, a lot of things were agreed upon. But like I said, when the proposition of Negro, black, and color, when these European people decided to say, okay, we're going to classify the people here as Negro, black, and color and associate them with the same, well, let's say Africans that were brought over here, that so-called were brought over here during slavery, but a lot of these brothers and sisters were not brought over here as slaves. Some unworthy enslavers bringing slaves over here, and some of the slaves were Europeans. It wasn't just, believe me, Bill Gates ain't dealing with Billy Bob down in fucking, Deep Root, Kentucky. They ain't the same European. You know what I mean? Like, they might have the same European genetics, but they ain't the same European for us mentality. Just like you ain't the same melanated person as someone who has melanin but have materialistic things and this hypocrisy of life control their mentality. You're not the same as them. You're probably genetically the same, but you're not mentally the same. So that's what differs us when it comes to the mind, how our minds work and react to this reality we living in. Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought us a true reality back to ourselves, because we got Hiram Abiff. If y'all don't know who that is, y'all need to go do some Masonic studies. But we got Hiram Abiff, or we got bopped over the head, got hit with a knockout punch, and knocked out ever since, and now that best to wake up. So people are trying to, from higher up to some people who don't even know they're acting as agent to their own people, because they want to keep them in a spookism mentality when it comes to nationality and when it comes to Islam being associated with this nationality. But we are letting people know that Islam is the true religious creed. When I say Islam, I mean Icep Law and Master. You know what I'm saying? Islam from the word salam, which is peace, the practice of peace, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's why the brother Prophet Noble Drew Ali, honors to him, Islam to him, said that one must have love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in their heart. You know what I mean? For themselves and their man to correctly operate on this earth plane. So we got to have that in our heart. And he's the brother that brought that back to us. So it's always a must that we honor him. It's always a must that he must be spoken at every meeting. He is the thought and the will of Allah manifested in the flesh to bring us out of our sinful ways of us not being the nationals of this landmass that we're supposed to be. Now, I've always expressed to people that nationality does not stop you from being murdered. And I've always expressed this to our people. Though those who were not declared Moors were murdered, though Moors being murdered, you may have thought or known them as Negro, black, and colored people, but those are Moors. They didn't know They didn't know that they were Moors. They think they're Negro, black, and colored because that's something that's been pushed upon us for generations after generations. But once you study what these things are, you come to find out you cannot be that if you're a living, breathing person. You cannot be an adjective if you are a noun. We don't get that. We're nouns. We're persons. Places are things. That's nouns. We're not adjectives. And these are not lessons that were created by the so-called European. And let's get that word out the way. And like I said, I'm going to get to the topics. So don't worry, the show's going for a little long. Don't panic. We'll get to the topics, but I want to clear some things up. Let's clear this up. The European did not create the grammar that they speak. They did not create the English language. English is Latin. It comes from the Latin language, and any language that comes from Latin is Moorish Latin. We taught them language. We taught them mathematics. They have books on it. They have paintings about it. They have many stories about us teaching them these things. They're not in denial of it. But they look at it like this: if you want to keep contributing us to the things that we know y'all created, but y'all want to give us the credit for it, so be it. You can't be mad. If you invent something and then someone else gets the credit for it because you didn't want to step up and be credited for it. You wanted to be on some, I don't want the stress, I don't want the drama, I don't want the profile of being this and being that, and being thought of this and being thought of that. And then when someone else steps up and do it, all of a sudden now, it's a problem. All of a sudden now, people want to, they shouldn't be doing that, and they shouldn't be allowed to say they this, and no. Everyone has a right and a title to express themselves how they feel. If you got Europeans that feel they L's and bays, all right then, because y'all don't want to be L's and bays. If you got Europeans that feel they got a true connection to Kemet and Tom Moran's there, and you don't, let them connect. Why not? You don't want it. If someone else sees the treasure in your science that you don't get mad that they're utilizing it and they're utilizing it against you because you refuse to stand on your square and be who you are. The progenitor, the creator of this science that's being used against you. Your own science. This nation, Union Nation, is Islamic in origin. If it wasn't for the Moroccan Empire and the Sultan of Morocco, the Beys of Tripoli, who gave recognition to the Union State Republic to form to be what's considered United States of America, there wouldn't be no United States of America. So it was this flag that you see right here, the red flag with the 5-pointed green star. It doesn't matter if it's interlocking or not, as long as it's 5-pointed green star and there ain't nothing else up on there but the red flag and the 5-pointed green star, with the Bunker Hill flag, which is the red flag with the white box with the green ever tree in the box. That's the Bunker Hill flag. That's our flag. With the Amnesty Star Spangled Banner, which give those two flags, the Moroccan Empire flag, the Bunker Hill flag, and the next program we're gonna go deep in on that. Do knowledge on that. We're gonna go deep in the Bunker Hill flag and the Amnesty flag, the Star Spangled Banner, not American flag, Star Spangled Banner. This is the true American flag because this is Al Morocco over here. You know what I mean? The Star Spangled Banner, which we gave them to make them pledge their allegiance to us. That's why they had to pledge their allegiance to the Republic form of government. That's why I say I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the Republic for which it stands. But we don't think of that. So look at what the Republic form of government, Confederated government was, Iroquois Confederated government, all the confederations that was around in Al Mubarak, the nation Al Mubarak went top to bottom, wasn't no small nation, covered all this land as well as Canada, as well as what you would consider Greenland, all the way down to Mexico, you know what I mean? Further down from that. So let's get into what I want to talk about, and I'm going to take off the Divine Constitution and let it to be read at every meeting. I'm also going to, take away the Moroccan flag for the moment because this is something that we as a people, we need to start addressing this heavily. And I mean, as whatever we want to call ourselves, we're Moors. We need to understand that, and we need to stand up on that principle. We should be in droves. I mean, droves declaring our nationality. It could do so much for us as a nation if we only knew the type of financial difference it would make. A true financial difference it would make if we all just went and did our nationality. I mean, one of the craziest turnovers of government and finance ever. If the next day, all of us over here, penitentiary, living, no matter if you're hetero, homo, any of that, lesbian, any whatever, Christian, Buddhist, Islam, whatever faith system, school of thought you're a part of, it wouldn't even matter. Just nationalize, just declare your nationality. It would topple this corrupt system in a blinking of an eye. I mean, bow! You would hear it worldwide. And then to maintain the import-export from this place, because this place does have good import-export, the other nations around the world will have no choice but to back and finance the Moroccan empire, the Al Moroccan nation, to run everything, to put everything back in its perspective, because the world needs this import-export commerce business over here. It's unequivocally, without a doubt, that the Americas is good for import-export. So the world would not deny us if we declared our nationality. The world will back us 100% if we, the Al Moroccans, woke up and declared our nationality, because it's us. It's because of us not declaring our nationality and not having our nationality collectively for so many years that the world is in the turmoil it's in. Why is war stricken the way it is? Why is famine in other places the way it is? It's because of us over here. We don't think that or know that, but we are a great, I want to say, a great cause for what's going on in the world. And that's where the current affairs come in at. So let's get started on one current affair that touched my heart when I seen it, because like I said, I am a Moor. This is a Moor, but every one of us that's being murdered is a Moor, but this is a declared Moor. And it touched my heart because I explained to people many times that just because we are declared Moors doesn't mean that we're not going to run in trouble or have trouble with the law. But long as we stand on law and battle and fight, we can't give up the fight. That's what's wrong with our people. We quickly fold. We quickly give up the fight. We cannot give up the fight of being who we are. But since we give up the fight so quickly, we fall subject to these policy enforcers who know time is running out for themselves. So that's what they're doing when it comes to our people. And we got to start waking up and realizing that they are running out of time. And they're doing desperate things to make things stay in a fear essence, a fear energy essence, to make or to try to keep this planet in a low vibratory rate. But the planet has already ascended. The planet is doing its best to make sure we are seeing with it, because we are one with the planet. So let me, go ahead and put up the young Moore's picture. Like I said, I'm saddened about what happened. Being murdered by these so-called policy enforcers who take an oath of the Constitution to make that we are protected at all times, no matter what, and not use any type of force unless there is no other alternative. But it seems like they're using very, very quick force, and I ain't going for it. You're going to have to take me out right then and there. I ain't going for it. You're not putting your hands on me. You're not touching me. You're not doing anything. I'm putting you straight to bed, and I'm letting you know, and I don't care who watching this. Now, I'm of peace. I'm of love. I'm of peace. I'm of truth. I'm of freedom. And I'm definitely of justice. But if I feel that you are injustifully and unjustifiable doing things that you're not supposed to be doing upon my persons, it's war. Plain and simple. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't play that. So let me get to this and, show honors and respect, Islam, to the young brother, Mansur Bey, who was maliciously murdered about, I think, sometime around Tuesday by policy enforcers in St. Louis. And this is supposed to have marked like 1 week after the 1 year anniversary of Mike Brown being murdered down in Ferguson. And what we have to understand is that there's no difference between Mansur Bey and Mike Brown. Though Mr. Bey has a title or appellation of nobility attached to his appellation, being a Bey and being a declared Moor, Mike Brown was a Moor also. He just didn't know he was a Moor. His family didn't know they were Moors, and he was not a declared Moor. But just his presence alone makes him a Moor. That's what people don't get when we say we're Moors. Our presence alone makes us Moors. It ain't some group that we're joining. We are birthed as Moors. We are Moors because there's more of us on this planet than it is of them. And when I say them, I'm being frank. I'm not being. I mean, well, I ain't gonna say I'm not being frank. I am being frank. I am being outward. I am being outward. Europeans. But I'm not condemning them for the fact that they are who they are. Because some of them are not as savage as people may think. And some of us are. So, but I want to get back to this brother story because it's a shame that this brother is young, and I want to post another picture of this brother because I want to show something about this brother that, you know, we didn't know. This is him with his moms, and he was a high school graduate. He just graduated. He didn't have no criminal record whatsoever, no felonies whatsoever. Never involved in anything that posed as criminal activity. He had just graduated, and a week later, well, I ain't gonna say a week later after he graduated, but a week, this coming week, matter of fact, he'd have been starting college. So the story is that he was in a place or a home that had supposedly, allegedly, had drugs in it, guns in it. Now, there is a video of the young brother, rap video, where, you know, he's doing street suggestions and, you know, it's guns in the video. And it's, you know, youngsters just talking about what youngsters talk about in their songs. We already know what these young guys talk about, dude. I'm not saying none of them are really about that life. A lot of them are not. Some of them are. Some of them just glorifying it just because they seeing other artists do it. And that doesn't always determine who a person really is. And from my understanding about this young brother, it didn't determine who he really was because family stepped up out the gate and said no, he was a part of any type of illegal activity or anything that was going on, which y'all may think was going on. Matter of fact, he had just came from his part-time job that he was working at FedEx at. From my understanding, being in the Moore Science Temple in St. Louis, he was a great member of that temple. He was a very active Moor of that temple. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, "More is an active, not passive." From my understanding about this young brother, he was active in his community, upstanding his community, not tied to anything that would have led anyone to suspect or to believe that he had some type of criminal element going on. And it trips me out that when there's a story of us, the first thing they try to do is make us into suspects or say the suspect. And that's what they did with this brother, but he's a Moorish American, so what would he be a suspect of? When being a Moorish American, we are taught not to deal or dwell in anything that has to do with the illegal drug activities of harsh drugs. We're taught that. We're taught we can't be a part of that. You know what I mean? So, what was he suspect of? There was no warrant issued, though he said there was a warrant for the place where he was at. His name wasn't on any type of warrant. He wasn't warranted for anything. Had a warrant on him for anything. It was claimed that he was pointing a gun and was trying to run, but who? I mean, come on, man, that's a movie. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying that if someone has a gun and trying to escape, they're not going to try to run and escape at the same time. But let's see the autopsy. The autopsy's not really out about where the bullet really hit. Just know he was shot in his back. But where was the bullet really at? Or where did the bullet really hit him at? You know what I'm saying? Because from what the story says, he died from one bullet wound to the back, but the 3 shots that took place. Now, why were they Moor? And he's a Bey. And L's and Beys are To be the highest, besides Ali, one of the highest titles of nobility you can have. It could be you place upon yourself, because you give yourself your own title of nobility. You the one who constitutes yourself as an L or a Bey. No one else. So as a Bey or L or just a Moorish American, period. The one thing that the Prophet stressed about us is knowing the law. Civics. Civics is law. Knowing the law. Knowing the constitutional law. So this brother being a Bey and being an American would not have ran or tried to run knowing he can stand on law. Knowing he can stand on his square, his compass, and his ruler. And express law. You know what I'm saying? Length, angle, width, land, air, water. Which is natural law. Because all things that law are natural law. And since he natural being has a title of nobility that expresses his nationality or natural self, he knows natural law. So he would never have ran. I'm not buying that story that this young brother ran or tried to run firing a firearm. I'm not buying that. Try to sell it to someone who's ignorant. We Moors are not ignorant. That's the last thing we are ignorant. We do extensive studies and research to the deepest depths when it comes to this knowledge. So we're not ignorant, especially when it comes to law. This young Moor, Islam to you, Master Bey. I know you were an ignorant young brother, and your death will not go in vain, because Grand Sheikh Cujo Awa El, as well as other Grand Sheiks, as well as other Moors, have expressed deep condolences and deep affirmation of who you are, and put in writ of error upon your behalf to let the world know, as well as the nations know, that you were not Negro, black, and colored, that you are a Moor, and that you are protected by international law. Flat out. We're not having that, Moors can get shot and nothing happen. No. Moors are not getting shot up and nothing's going to happen. And for everyone who's talking about, well, yeah, they shoot Moors up too. This is one known Moor versus many unknown Moors who are Moors but unknown to the world, or unknown to themselves and people who know them that they are Moors, or people who don't know them who want to sympathize with the death but not calling them in their right proper manner, how you should be calling them or addressing them as Moors who being murdered by these policy enforcers, not Negro, black, and colored people who are property, but Moors, natural beings who being murdered by these policy enforcers. Like I said, policy enforcers and police officers, they have no right to be officers. They're policy enforcers. And we need to stand on constitutional principles and make this system pay for what they're doing. I'm not talking about getting in the street and trying to war and fight with military elite specialists and blow your head off one or the other. That ain't gonna happen. Declare your nationality. Flat out. Declare that. Flat out. Then we come at the world in a political manner. But we must be 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million strong. We can't be no itty bitty 100,000 and think we're gonna make a difference. We need to be millions on hand strong. It's over 80 million of us in this central part of the United States of America, in this central part of the Americas. Now imagine if we hooked up with our brothers from Canada, our Canaan land, our people from Greenland, our people from South America, and declared our nationality in that fold, that great fold. Declare our nationality in that great fold. All those people, millions and millions upon people. Now we're Moors, we're back. Okay, it's all this killing us is done deal now. Cause now international involved, and that's what I want people to understand when it comes to this young brother. Every time the media say something about this young brother that is not pertaining to his nationality, his Moorish nationality. It's to denationalize him, and we not falling for that. We're gonna keep letting y'all know this was a Moor y'all killed, a declared Moor that y'all killed, and he has international protection. He is first citizen upon the planet Terra, and the true free sovereign of the planet Terra. We're going deep in the ancients. He is a product and a child or youth ascendant of Mu, the first civilization on the planet, the first people on the planet. He is to be respected as such, without a shadow of a doubt, because he is what his foremothers and forefathers was, without a doubt or contradiction. Islam to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam to this brother, Mansur Balbay. Islam to you, brother. You not go in vain. And your brothers and sisters, Moors will go in vain, because they are Moors too. And we're going to stand up for them. I don't care if it's Negro, Black, or African American. You're Moors. And we're going to stand up for you. You are heard too. Your voice is still heard. Your image is seen and echoed. So therefore, people won't forget. People still remember what's going on and what's happening and what's taking place. Because we can't keep allowing this to take place. They're killing our youth. They're killing the women. They're killing our youth. They're killing us, brothers. And we need to step up, declare nationality, and be the strike force that we're supposed to be when it comes to our people being hurt. I'm not a Moor. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Well, those Moors. Well, I'm red, black, and green. I'm Pan-African. Those Moors. I'm Commission. I'm the Kemetic Moors. Each one of those people or each one of those groups are Moors. Regardless of if you want to try to call yourself, you're Moor. That's no shit you joining. We need to get out of that mentality thinking that when we declare ourselves as Moors, we're joining something. No, we reaffirming who we are in law. Who we are in law. Moors. The only true free sovereign on the planet. Everyone else is a slave. Not to talk about you or denounce you or try to... No. We already know. If you're not melanated, you're not one of the original people on the planet. It's real talk. That's real talk. And that you are subordinate. You're not equal. Genetically, you might be equal as far as breathing, heart, stomach, bones, skin, whatever, nails, but you're not equal genetically. Because we absorb the natural light and you don't. I'm not trying to knock that about you. It just is what it is. That's science. That ain't got to do with emotion. That's fact. Not saying you can't be my brother in arms if you righteous and upstanding. Then we're brothers. No matter what your diversity is, no matter what your ethnicity is, we're brothers if you're righteous and upstanding. We're brothers. If you're about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we're brothers. This young brother was murdered. Just as the young sister Sandra Bland, who I'm going to have up, was murdered. Just like my brother Sam DeBose was murdered. Just like Mike Brown was murdered. Just like all the young brothers and sisters, or all the brothers and sisters, all these Moorish brothers and sisters being murdered, whether they're declared or not, being murdered by the policy enforcers. And we keep thinking it's a game when we need to just nationalize. Flat out, forget everything else. Just nationalize. Become a nationality. Become a nation of people. Got a sister that I'm going to express next week, next show, or live documentation, who's putting together a fund for a national building for us to take care of our national affairs. It's time for us to stand on national principles and mark my words. Those who did what they did to this young Moorish brother, you're going to fall beneath international law. You're not going to get that acquittal or that so-called we can't find no evidence. No, you're going to fall under national law no matter if he was dealing drugs or not. You were still supposed to give him due process of the law. You can't prove the gun because there was no gun there and there's no news showing any type of weapon. So you can't prove a weapon. The family said he didn't have no weapon. The family said he was turned when you shot him. So he probably wasn't even fleeing or trying to walk away. Probably just pointed him and shot him in his back. Cowards. That's what you are. Y'all cowards. And I can say it to your face. Just as I can say it to the screen. Because I'm saying it to the screen. I'm saying it to your face. And go for the who are on the force too, seeing your own brothers and sisters being murdered out here and not doing nothing about it. You sell out punk bitches. That's what you are. Yeah, I'm going in. I know I'm saying words, whatever. I'm grown. Get over it. Punk bitches is what you are. You got on that badge and you got on that gun because you a punk bitch. You ain't there to serve the people, serve the community. You a punk bitch who think that since you got that on, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do and you can't. That's not your job. Your job is to protect and to serve the people. That's what you took an oath for. That's what you were sworn in for. And those who are elected officials stand up and start doing what you were elected to do. And we as Moors need a political body to elect our own in office. To bring the federal government back into that so-called government, which we know is de facto. We know it ain't true government. It's corporation, and we still trying to call them government. Placing ourselves back in the subordinate state again. And y'all ain't understanding what words, just simple words can do. How simple the words can change the vibration of the whole matter. They keep calling this brother black or African American. He's not either, because he neither exists in the human family. He's a Moor. Get it through your heads. Get it through your hearts. He's a Moor. Let me show you another Moor. Let me show you another Moor. Yeah, another Moor. Hold on, I know I got it around here. And I want to give honor and respect and praise to this sister because it's real sad that this sister, who's a Moabite woman, meaning she's first woman on the planet, meaning she's first, so they killed one of our gods. It's our God, people. She's our God because she's a creator. She's Allah. She's arm, leg, arm, head. Just as all the other sisters, Moabite sisters, are arm, leg, arm, head. Allah in the flesh. The creator in the flesh. And they murdered our sister. They murdered this sister. She's a Moor. She's not just Sandra Bland. She's a Moor. Her name might be Sandra Bland, and she might have considered herself African American. I know that I've seen videos of the sister that show her promoting Commission knowledge. So if you're promoting Commission knowledge, you're promoting Moorish science. Whether you know that or not, that's Moor science, because the Moors who the high priest became and took upon the name of the planet Mu, children of Mu, which we were always Moors, but these high priests set out under the banner of Islam, I self law and master, peace of self, teaching the Commission knowledge around the planet, are Moors out of that section of the world. Because the people of Kemet were the nation of Tamarians, the Moors. No matter where we at on the planet, I think what people understand about us is we're Moors. No matter where we're at on the planet, no matter if you want to call it Africa, you want to call it China, which is really Manchuria, you want to call it Japan, which have a Nagasaki. You know, Naga is the original true word for the word nigga, not nigger, nigga, Naga, which is the Kundalini serpent Shakti energy, which hits the crown chakra, which gives us our crown. That's what the Dragon Ball DBZ dragons are about when they get the 7 Dragon Balls, because you got to gather the 7 Dragon Balls, 7 seals, activate the 7 chakras to release the Kundalini energy up the spine to hit the crown chakra to illuminate you into, you know what I'm saying, your God self. And that's what they do every time you see Goku or any Super Saiyan go to that golden Super Saiyan stage or any other Super Saiyan level. And one of the last DBZ movies, Goku learned how to go into the God state. So we must understand that anyone who spits this type of knowledge really covertly or outwardly is going to be a target. And this sister became a target because she was bringing knowledge. And though she might have been Afrocentric, some people are just starting off with that knowledge. Some people don't understand that all that is more science. Some people don't want it to connect it with the Moors, because when you have the story of the so-called African or Arab Moors who were enslaving Africans, but those were Moors who were fighting amongst Moors and then enslaving their own people. There was Moors enslaving Moors, but Moors were enslaving everyone. It is what it is. I'm not glorifying it. I'm not saying it was right. And I know and truly understand this is how we as Moors fail, by getting involved in that which is not divine, that which is not supposed to take place, and that's us oppressing any other living being. We're not even supposed to kill a fly, step on a roach, people. I mean, I'm just keeping it 100, man. Though we do it. But that's nature, regardless if we don't think it is or not. A roach is nature. A fly is nature. Bees or whatever, these are this is nature. Insects are nature. And we kill these things without question. Mosquitoes, everything. You know what I mean? But that's nature. We're not supposed to be harming anything on the planet Earth, but we do. And the one great thing we do, and always done, for periods of time, I ain't gonna say always done, there's been periods of peace where there was no harm coming to the living beings of the planet from each other. But we've always, like I said, I don't want to say always, but we find ourselves in conflict with one another, and then we mistreat one another when we do each other bad. And in the later years when we started to do that, it were people that started to benefit from us mistreating each other. And some of our brothers and sisters got in cahoots with them through economics, political situations, suppression, saying, hey, instead of me being suppressed, I'm going to get down with this and suppress, and get paid for it. You know, you got to study this stuff for yourself so you can understand that every aspect of our existence that led us to us being one day POWs enslaved to the things we're dealing with today. Nationality and Birthright deals with all these things because it's because of Nationality and Birthright these came about. They wanted to denationalize us around the planet, not just the Americas, around the planet. It was an attack on us around the planet. And when nations combined and started to connect with one another in that crusade to start to colonize the indigenous people of the planet, it was our own people who were part of that. It was our own people who started that. That's what people don't understand. Our own people started that. And they weren't just a selected group of Moors. They were Moors from all over the planet who started that. But they started it with the European first. And then it became amongst ourselves. This sister was murdered for not putting on her signal when switching lanes. And that is sad, because to be stopped for that is crazy. But yet and still, I have to say this. One of the things I do detest when I'm traveling is when people don't use their signals to let someone know they're getting over. Now, do I feel someone should be punished on a severe note of such magnitude because of that? No. That is way too much. That is not right. She was asked to put out her cigarette. She didn't, by the local policy enforcer. She was asked to get out the car. She was refusing to get out of her vehicle. And it escalated into, when she did get out, she was beaten. She was severely handled by such policy enforcer. She suffered and sustained many injuries before even making it to the county building that she was taken to. She did not receive any type of medical attention for her injuries, though she expressed that she had been beaten, that her side was hurting, that her head was hurting, that she had a real bad migraine because her head had been slammed upon, from my understanding, the car, the policy enforcement vehicle, as well as her hitting her head on the ground. And this is hurtful because waking up every day seeing it, especially in 2015, 2014, it seemed like in the last few years of Obama being in office, if we want to say that's the office, it's de facto government. We must start to know that. Hold on, Morris. I'll have to get some light in here. That's de facto government. We know that. But he's president, CEO of the corporation known as U.S.A. United States of America. All caps. Let's keep that and note. All caps. Letting you know it's fictitious. It does not exist. It's artificial. It seems like a lot of these murders has been taking place at the end of his so-called administration in office, and I think why you're not hearing so much of him speak out about it is because he did everything in his power to put us in our right perspective of minds in his first 4 years of office. That's why you see in 2010 the video I showed on last week's live documentation when he was talking about the contribution that Islam and the Muslims made to the Americas, and put it right in there when he said it was the Moroccan Empire that noticed the United States Society Republic, that it was first before it became the United States of America Corporation, Incorporated. I want to say Islam to this sister. I want to let this sister know that your death has not gone in vain. We are still putting this up and letting people know that we're not going to tolerate our brothers and sisters being murdered out here. And I want people to understand that there ain't no disrespect or no way of disrespect. Am I disrespecting this sister when I call her a Moor? She's a Moor. She's a Moor more than I am. more than any brother is, because she's the Moor that gives birth to the Moor. She is a Moabitess womb man, first man. She's man. So for me to express and call her a Moabitess, Moorish American national man is the highest esteem that I can give her, because I'm calling her God. And we must understand that when it's attack on our women, when it's attack on us, period, female or male, especially our youth, because it's our youth who's our future, and we must do everything in our power to protect them. But when it's the attack on our women who give birth to our youth, birth to our ascendants, we must, beyond a shadow of a doubt, must express to the highest degree our zero tolerance for that. No more hurting our gods. No more killing our gods. No more disrespecting our gods. Flat out, we can't have it no more. They are the creators of life. Without them, there is no life. So they are God. They are the creative force of God on the planet, God in the flesh, and you will respect my God. You will show honors and respect to the woman known as the black woman, but really the Moorish woman, Moabitess woman. You're going to respect her. And sisters, we must do everything in our power to protect y'all. But y'all must do everything in y'all power to protect us and really protect yourselves. I know we have lower selves. I know we're lower beings. At times I know we love to put ourselves out there. I do it myself. Ain't no, trying to hide behind anything. It's times I fall into the lower self. It's times that, I love the ladies. What can I say? Love them. I love them a lot. There's times I fall, I succumb to them. I'm well aware, so I'm not playing like I don't know, and I'll never blame nothing to no one else. But it's times that ladies be having me, so I do my best to conquer that lower self of myself. Try to do my best. There's times I conquer, times I don't. Times I win that fight, times I don't. But it will never be a time that I will never look at any of it in a way where I will not see God, creator, in them. I don't care if they're half naked, all the way naked, fully clothed, not as beautiful as some may think beauty should be judged or be, symmetrically shaped, whatever. You are a God to this brother. I thank you for creating us. Thank my mom for creating me. Thank my father for his assistance in that creation. But my mom is my real, true creator, because I spent 9 months, which is the highest mathematical terminology there is, and it is of the divine feminine. And she gave birth. Allah gave birth to Allah, because Allah manifests as Allah, and she is Allah. This sister Sandra Bland, Islam to you, sister. You're Allah. You are arm, leg, arm, head. So I want to honor you. I want to let people know that your death is not in vain. That we, as Moors, all of us, Negro, black, or color, whatever you want to call yourself, you are a Moor. We're going to keep making sure that these people know that we're not going nowhere. We're here, we're back, we're here, we return. The Moors are here, Islam, we're not going nowhere. We're back. You can't murder all of us. And you're going to pay for the murders of this sister Moorish American brother, Mansur Balbay, and I want to celebrate the life of a man, because with the picture I'm posting up, about to put up about this brother, is not about so much as his death, even though he was murdered by not even a police enforcement, a fucking security guard. Yeah, I said it. No disrespect to his family. The man who murdered this brother, your son, your family member, was not a police officer. He was a fucking security guard. He was campus security. He don't have no office. He was not on no ballot. Did no one elect him to office? He filled out an application and was hired on to be campus security. He wasn't even supposed to be off campus trying to subdue anybody. He worked for University of Cincinnati campus security, and that's why Chief Blackwell of Cincinnati Police and the prosecutor Joe Dieters both came out and said he was not CPD. He was not Cincinnati Police. He was University campus security. They came out and said it. They came out and said it on the radio. And I want to post my brother picture up. I want to say Islam to this Sister Bland. You know, it's real hurtful that this is taking place with our people, that we're being maliciously just murdered out here by the people that's supposed to be protecting us. We set up these laws to be protected, to not be infringed upon, but we have to stand upon them because we set them up. If we're not going to abide by them and enforce them, then no one else is going to enforce them. And I want to say Islam to my brother. You are a Moor, brother. No matter what no one says, you are a Moor. My brother Sam DuBose, I went to school with this brother. This ain't just no person like I'm just pulling out of nowhere. Like I didn't personally know Sarah Bland, the sister, but like I said, I seen some of her videos, and I seen that she was a good person, a good woman, and who had and one who had love for her people and wanted to educate her people. Though she might have been in Afrocentric mentality, is not saying that the sister could have never grown and understand that we are planetary Africans. Not just continental Africans. We are planetary Africans. If we want to use that terminology or word, Africa. We're planetary African. We're truly actually a Mexicans, or those other Mexicans of the Moroccan Empire, of Asia, Mu Asia, you know, Terra. We are Moors. This was a Moor that a security guard murdered, and this is a Moor I knew since elementary school. There would never have been a time that me and this Moor would have met up and had any type of discrepancies or altercations. This was my brother. Every time I met up with this brother, it was nothing but love. Nothing but love. Here's a little story about me and this brother that many of y'all may not know. We went to a school called Mary Middle School. Mary Middle School. It was on Oak Street in Coreyville. It's now the Board of Education, but it was known as Mary Middle School. We went to a school called Rockdale Elementary. This is where I first met Sam DuBose. I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade. I think he was in the 4th grade. I think he was older than me, if I'm not mistaken. I'm 42. I don't know how old the brother was. He may have been 43, 44. But I think he grade or a grade level above me. We went to a place called Mary Middle School. Now, Mary can be interpreted as Maury or Moor. But the mascot of the school was the Marauders. Now, the Moors were the pirates of the Caribbeans, or what was considered the Caribbeans, but really that's the Atlantean islands. So Moors are the pirates. That's why when we see things, we don't recognize them because we haven't been taught what we need to recognize. But later on down the line, when I thought about me going to a place called Mary Middle School, and the mascot they was called the Mary Marauders. They were the More Marauders. We had a depiction of a pirate or a marauder, on the wall of this gym, and on our school uniforms, T-shirts, stuff like that. So I've been knowing that brother since elementary school. I've been knowing him since junior high school. I've been knowing him since high school. I've been knowing him since we were both in the streets, doing what we knew to do to survive. I knew the brother when he started producing, and he wanted me to rap, and he always told me that I had talent. He always told me that I had the talent to be a lyricist, to be an MC. He always say, you're an MC, you're not a rapper, you're an MC, you got lyrics, and he used to always tell me I help produce your music. I ended up going to the penitentiary, and sometimes penitentiary can kill dreams, and I allowed it to kill my dream of being an MC. So when I got out, I was in my 30s, and I was just feeling like it was too late for me to even try to start that type of life. So, but I met him one day, and he asked me, this is not too long ago after I got out, he asked me, is you still flowing? You still writing? I told him, nah. He said, nah. He told me, man, start it back up. He said, I got my studio going, I'm producing music, everything started back up. But the dream had got so crushed and killed within me that he couldn't motivate me. And this brother had motivated me one time before, and this is the funny story about us. We went to Mary Middle School, and one day, me, him, and a brother named Calvin King decided to skip school. I think it was some type of, I don't know what was going on, but we decided to skip school. And when we skipped school, we went to Corrieville Park. And for those who from, the territory, Corporation Cincinnati, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say Corrieville Park. It's a park in a little spot, neighborhood called Corrieville. And it's really right down the street from the school, so we really didn't go really nowhere but right down from the school. So it's crazy. So we go down to the park, and it's free basketball, and it's crazy because at the time, I can play now, but at the time I was kind of a shorter guy. I didn't really sprout till I got about 17. I really didn't grow till I got about I'm gonna say about 15 is really when I started to sprout. 17 is really when I came into my height and stuff like that, real height. Because by the time I was 18, I think I flushed out 5, 6 feet straight out. So I really wasn't a baller. I didn't know how to really play. So brother Kevin King and Sam, because that's your school with us, brother Kevin King, and missing that brother, long-time brother. He's been doing many years. Really miss that brother. He was good people. He was cool people. But we get to the park, and they say, well, they ask me can you ball? And I'm like, look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I ain't no baller like that. I ain't no hooper like that. I said the thing I can do is play defense, though. I'm very good at guarding my man, but I ain't offensive like that. I ain't no very good dribbler. I can pass the ball decent, but I ain't no shooter. I ain't none of that. And so I was like, I'm saying, y'all go ahead and pick somebody else. And Sam was like, nah, you playing, bro. You came down here with us. We all together. You playing. It's going to be you and him. And, Sam and Kevin could ball. Sam and Kevin had skills. Me, I was garbage. Sam and Kevin had skills. And the one thing Sam said is man, whenever you get in trouble, look for us, and we're going to bail you out. So every time I got the ball, I didn't know what to do as far as dribble or should I go this way. So what I would do is when I get the ball, I would just look for him, and I'll pass them the ball. And it was times where, Sam was like, man, we're going to get you some points. You're going to score. Because during the games, we played a couple of games, and they were the ones that was actually winning the game. I was just out there trying to keep a person occupied and make sure that I did my job of just playing defense, and I played defense very well. A person who I was always playing against, they wasn't scoring on me or dominating me. You know, they have a couple of points here and there, but they wasn't. It wasn't no true domination where they was killing me. It was just that I wasn't being able to match their points. So they start putting me in the positions where I can score easily. Especially Sam. Sam was like, "Look, so I'm gonna start doing. You're gonna go down low and get close to the basket you can. I'm gonna give you the ball. You do your best to just get it up there, put it in the basket. You know what I'm saying?" So he did it one time and I missed. I shot it clearly, well over the basket, everything. And you know what I'm saying? I felt bad. I got down. He was like, "Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get it again. You're gonna get it again. We're gonna keep making sure you get it to, you know what I'm saying, you make it." And eventually, you know, they gave me the ball in position where I was able to hit up off the backboard, make my first, you know, shot. You know, I'm geeked, I'm excited. I go to Sam, I'm hitting him up like, "Thank you, man." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gave me the confidence to be out here and ball, and letting Kevin know, like, "Thank y'all, man, for holding me while we playing this game." Because what happened was I think it was around lunchtime when we left. We put our little money up. We had a little lunch money. I had a couple of dollars. Sam had a couple of dollars. Kevin, we put our little lunch money up on these games, and we all walked away with about $25 a piece. We all walked away with like $25 a piece that day because I just got caught in the moment, you know, thinking about him, thinking about this brother, man. I'm hurting. I'm sad that I won't get to see this brother again, just to remind him of that story. I'm hurt and saddened that I knew this brother, and I knew this brother for a long time, and like I said, it was never a time that me and this brother interacted that there was never love. Greetings of love, greetings of peace, greetings of what's up, my brother, how you doing, how things going with you. And it saddens me that I have to even talk about my brother in this nature to express and show that this ain't right. I mean, I know the universe is the universe and things are going to play out how they're supposed to play out, but this ain't right. Because the way he was done over a missing front license plate, as the prosecutor Joe Dieter said, was asinine by someone who was supposed to be an authoritative state. But I want to keep reminding people, and like I said, there's no disrespect to Sam DuBose's family. I love this brother. This brother, like I said, is my brother. This is, regardless of how people feel or what people feel I'm saying about us being Moors, we're Moors. This is a Moorish brother, whether he's declared or not. He's still a Moor. His family are Moors. We're all Moors, and we must protect each other. And I'm hurtful that this brother was not protected that day, because he should not have suffered what he suffered. And I was going to put the bastard up who murdered him, but I'm not giving you any FaceTime. His name is Ray Tenzing. If anybody want to know, go look him up. I'm not giving him no FaceTime. I was going to give him some FaceTime. I'm not giving you no FaceTime. You don't deserve no FaceTime, you bastard. You don't deserve no FaceTime. You fucking criminal. You are a criminal. You are a murderer, Ray Tenzing. You are a murderer. And you deserve any justice that comes to you, regardless of who you are and what you are. Because what you did was malicious. I'm not trying to condemn him because he's so-called white when we're the true free white people. We're the true white people. He's not white. He's really not even European. And nothing against other brothers and sisters of pale tone. Nothing against you. Because not all of y'all out here doing or committing these malicious acts amongst your fellow family. Your fellow man and woman out here. So this is not condemning a whole bunch because of a few rotten apples. What I'm doing is picking the fucking rotten apples out and trashing their asses. And I'm trashing you, Ray Tenzing. I hate you even got the name Ray. Because Ray is for rays of light, rays of sunshine. You're supposed to be shining rays of purity and light amongst this brother when you encountered him. You maliciously shot this brother. You killed this brother. You dirty bastard. There is no respect for you. Ever. There never be. And that's why there's no FaceTime for you. I'm not showing your face. People, y'all look him up. His name is Ray Tenzing. You can type in Sam DuBose and you can connect it. I do not like you, Ray Tenzing. I am of love, peace, freedom, and justice. But at this moment, I truly, truly despise and dislike you for what you did to this brother, my brother. Not my brother by mother, but my brother by Mama Universe, who gave birth to all of us. The Moors. I'm hurt that I never see this brother again, never get to speak to him again, run into him again on this level. But he's in my heart. So I'm going to always say out to him and speak to him and let him know I love you, brother, and you will be greatly missed. I have sympathy and love for all my people, regardless if they Negro, black, or colored, or want to classify themselves as that. To me, they're Moors in my eyes, and I love them, no matter how ignorant we can be, stubborn we can be, even how animalistic we can be. There's still a profound love because you are me and I am you. And when they murdered him, they murdered me. When they murdered Sandra Bland, they murdered me. When they murdered Mansour Barbet, when they murdered Mike Brown, when they murdered Oscar Grant, when they murdered all our brothers and sisters out here, they murdered me. But when we murder ourselves, we are helping. We need to stop helping in that manner. We need to get a handle on our own affairs. We're so worried about things that happened hundreds of years ago that we were a part of, but don't know the level of the game we were playing. But if we understood the level of the game we were playing, we'd get over that quickly. I got over that quickly because I understand it was my people who instituted the shit. So I can't fault no one who benefited off that situation because not only did my people institute the shit, but allow themselves to become victims of their own institutions. So I can't fault nobody who say, hey, if you want to be a dumbass and allow me to run your dumbass, then so be it. But we're in a day and age now that we're supposed to be reversing all this egotistical nonsense and not using the ego in the right way. If you want to be ego, if you want to use your ego in the right way, use it to study, use it to gain knowledge. Become egotistical that manner of learning. Understand that you're always a student no matter what part of life you master. It's always something you don't know that will render you to become a student again. And we must take nationality serious. We must seriously take this serious. This is not a joke. As we seen, they just murdered a declared Moor. So yeah, we might say it doesn't matter what we call ourselves, but we call ourselves something collectively. Not just few here, few there. Collectively. It will allow us to bring a true argument to the table. We can't keep coming to the table with imaginary shit and want people to see it when it doesn't exist. We have to come to the table with something that is solid, that exists. And what's solid and exists is your nationality. I want to read something to our people. This is what it's called, and this is on my phone because I take time to download things on my phone that I feel is pertinent to know. And this is the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Now, this is the Indigenous Peoples Act that Obama signed into law. And I think like 2010, if I'm not mistaken, right after coming from Cairo, Egypt, seeing himself on the wall and also giving the speech that I showed last episode of the Muslim Moors of the Mohammedan faith, Islam, that recognize the United States as a nation. And I want to read what is known as, this resolution adopted by the General Assembly without reference to a main committee, A61 L.67 and add .1 6125 61295 United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. The General Assembly, taking note of taking note of the recommendation of the Human Rights Council contained in its resolution 121-2 of 29 June 6, by which the Council adopted the text of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, recalling its resolution 61/178 of 20 December 2006, by which it decided to defer consideration of an action on the declaration to allow time for further consultation thereon, and also decided to conclude in consideration before the end of the 61st session of the General Assembly. Adopts the United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People as contained in the annex to the present resolution. Annex. United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, the General Assembly, guided by the purpose of the principles of the character of the United Nations and good faith in the fulfillment of the obligations assumed by the states in accordance with the Charter, affirming that indigenous peoples are equal to other peoples while recognizing the right of the peoples to be different, to consider themselves different, and to be respected as such. Now, I'm going to just read that part because what I want people to do is I want people to take time to read this for yourself. It's called Declaration. Let's get it again because I want people to know what it's called. United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. You can look this up for yourself. So you can read it for yourself, but I want to read something, and then I'm going to close out the show with this. And what I want to read is Article 6 of this. Every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality. Article 6 of United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People states, every indigenous individual has the right to a nationality. So, when you declare your nationality, no one can denationalize you. Only you can. Because you have a right to declare a nationality. I want to let people know that we as a people need to do this more expediently than we've ever done it before. I want people to know that this brother, my brother, Sam DuBose, has a nationality. Though he didn't know it, though he may not have declared it, he has one, and that's Moorish American. And I want to say Islam to my brother. Peace to my brother. Islam to you, Brother Sam. Samuel Dubois, which is Moorish. The Frenchmen were the free men of that territory. The Merovingian kings, the Moravian kings, were the kings of France, or that region of the planet, who were Moors. This brother is a Moor, Moorish American. He is an indigenous person of Al-Morocco, the Moroccan Empire, northwest of Mexico, North Africa, North America, who has a right to the nationality, or a nationality, or to the nationality, which is Moor. Moorish American. American Moor. Moor is a nationality. America, or American, is showing you indigenous geographical location. And I want to say Islam to that brother. And I want to close out the show with, first and foremost, letting people know that we can never allow ourselves to be subjugated again. Ever. We must do everything in our power to make sure that we regain our loss of state. And our loss of state is self, as well as this land known as the Americas. But our loss of state is self. And if we're not in our natural self, we can never regain our natural resource, which is our land. Our most natural resource is our land. We stand upon. That is our most natural resource. And if we're not doing what is to secure that, to secure our estate, to secure back our land, we can't fault people who are going to treat us a certain way because we don't want to be who we are. We must understand that we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. We are the creators of the universe. We are God. And through our nationality, that is what we express when we say we're Moors. We're saying we're fire, water, air, earth. We're saying we're north, south, east, and west. We're saying we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. We're saying that we are Allah, manifested in the flesh, being God in the flesh. We're saying we are the universe. We're saying we are the stars and the planets. We're saying we are the galaxies and the solar systems with the moon. We're saying we're everything in existence by just saying one word, and we're saying that we are supreme existence by saying one word. And must be respected by all, especially those that we created as the supreme being in the flesh. So let's respect one another. Let's build our nation. Let's love one another. Let's bring peace to one another, truth to one another, freedom to one another, and especially justice to one another. Let's not hate no one, no thing. Let's show love, but within that love, let's have enough love for self to not let self be disrespected. Let self be murdered. So I'm letting it be known I'm not going for it. You're going to have to murder me right there on the spot because you're not taking me nowhere. I'm not going nowhere with you. I don't trust being in your car, being in your facility, none of that. So if you ever come upon me, that's the day of reckoning. I'm not saying that I'm going to just jump off and do anything. So I don't want nobody to get misguided. And let me repeat that. I'm not just going to jump off and do anything. I'm going to express law. But if you put yourself in a position to where you don't respect law and I have to fight for my survival, I'm fighting for my survival. Because I have an inalienable right to do such when I feel that I'm about to be terrorized or oppressed by another. Whether it's foreign or domestic. I have a right to protect myself. And no one can say that I can't protect myself. I have a God-given right, created right to protect myself. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to protect my brothers and sisters when I'm seeing them out here being falsely, unjustly done by those who feel they can do that but were sworn to uphold and protect my right to be a free sentient being on the planet. So, with those words being said, let's get into the Moorish American prayer. We're going to close out with that because we'll always start with that and close out with that. Honor and praise to the Mother, Father, Creator, Allah, arm, leg, arm, head, for blessing us with Islam, Isaf, Law, and Master, blessing us with all the prophets, past, present, future. Give honor and praise to Noble Drew Ali, our prophet here in the Americas, who brung us out of our sinful ways and back into the constitutional folds of government. Islam to him, Islam to all the Moors. Assalamu alaikum to the Moors out there. Let's finish this prayer out. As we all know, it's 2 on the right, 5 on the left, face the east, wherever your east is at. Face the east because that's the sun rises in the east, so does the Kundalini rise in the east. I want to say to all Moors out there, wake up. Let's do this. Allah, Mother, Father of the universe, the Mother, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through the Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Amen. Ashe. Amen. Ashe. Salah. Islam. Peace. Hotep. Shalom. Salam. Assalamu alaikum. Our universal greetings of the word peace to all in the universe, all on earth. Do what we need to do to raise ourselves up, to bring ourselves back to constitutional folds of government, to make sure that we are nation building no matter what. Islam to all, peace to all. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week. One love.